Good morning, and it is, well, it's not the 4-minute morning, but it is almost that of 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Crypto Day, the 13th of May. And this video is going to take a look at XBY. I haven't updated this price in about 15 or 20 minutes. 724, pretty much the same. 6.16 US pennies, up 9.1%, pretty much up the same against Bitcoin, which means Bitcoin is flat for the last 24. 720 Satoshi. Interesting. Of course, everything you do is always within your own risk and own reward. And those who have taken the risk reward on this code with the things that I have said, you're welcome, because it has been fantastic. Although I haven't been as happy with a lot of the trading that I have been doing recently. Not so much, I mean, very happy the last few days, other than I was going to buy a bit more in the 600s or 500s rather. And I didn't unleash another buy. I'm going to go through a lot of my trades over the last several months on Cryptopia on the XBY BTC exchange. And yes, let's get started. So we're looking at the coin market cap, which comes in linear scale. I do not like linear because I started trading, or I can't say, yeah, trading pretty much though. I started analyzing using research of charts now for over 10 years. And it didn't take me long to get data on the gold and silver markets going back to 1968, which included the $50 1980 top. It included the very early 1970s silver prices at very low prices, like $1 and change. So I needed like 40x volatility from low to high. I needed logarithmic charts, and cryptocurrency has the monstrous volatility. And seeing codes like Gigabyte or Digibyte, all the coins that have had spectacular monster gains before, is this a gem that's ready to be found? And I say gem as in not many people have seen it. Well, maybe. I realize that if it's going to be a really like a good known and decent coin, that the potential prices can be enormous because we've seen it in crypto space. You understand the risk reward, especially with these very major speculative ones, which basically puts in ultimate risk. But when you play a non-margin game, your risk is always one unit, really, because you talk about 20x, 40x, 100x. That's on your one play. So if you buy something at 100 Satoshi and it goes to 20,000 Satoshi, that's a 200x gain, and your profits are 200 times higher. But you can only ever lose that 1x when it is all said and done. So that's the way that I like to look at it. And I've on here, if you look at the things that I've mentioned, this is the second last time in here as it hit this low, around the 200 and change mark, where I said pretty much it's a buy time, it's time to buy. The last time was a few days ago when it was in the 500s. And before, within this market, I find it interesting where you can be wrong and you can be right at the same time. Because this 1500 top, yeah, I stated such, but throwing that aside, I also stated the buyback was 500. No, not 200, not 250, no, 500. But those who bought at 500, well, one of two things can happen. One, or I should be stating, one, you trade it from an entry position. You get in at 500 and it goes down more. Okay, you buy more if you can get in those buy orders. Then you can sell a bit, buy more down here, sell any peaks for little bits here and there. But it meant, of course, on this rally, I sold a decent amount at the 300 and change mark. But that's because I bought at 200. I've been able to buy that back. So be it. That's just how the game works. But then I'm sold all the way on the way up as well. So there's fantastic opportunities, especially because I don't buy and sell everything all at one time, nor do I recommend such for anything but very small position speculative sizes. Or when amazing news information comes in, I guess, and you're extremely confident. Other than that, throwing that part aside, it also meant for hodlers. You just buy in like June or July, June, July, whatever, 500. And then you wait and you have to go all the way until like around Christmas or the start of the new season change, winter, Northern Hemisphere, in order to get that sale and the profit. So you go a few months. That's still short-term trading when you think about it on the long-term perspective. Because I've always heard people talking about, oh, you buy Apple, you buy IBM, you hold it for 20 years, 10 years, even 3 years is a decent position time. Heck, 3 years is a long time in this business. And then the same thing was true again after this high. The buyback, the next one, well, the first one, 1,500. So now let's just scroll this. 1,500, how do we do? Well, it didn't really look so good. 1,500 is roughly where I'm pointing the mouse right now. It was just a hair above this resistance. So it was more of resistance than it was support. 38.2% down was 15. 61.8% was 600 and change. So as we were going into March, I realized then that this market was going to probably go to 600 and pierce below that even. Because markets usually pierce extra. For this top, which I stated back at the 1,500 original top, that if it doesn't go there, yeah, expect 32, 33. Notice to pierce extra, but we look at 32 when it's all said and done, it was a major top level. So that's a correct call. So now that everything's been going on, I'm going to be playing my mathematical Fibonacci extremely serious. And when I see a move like this where it does a decent leg and a partial leg to its intended target, then you just pretty much know. So when this rally was happening, it was very hard for me to believe it. And I feel I was thinking about selling it all in there. I really, really was. And I regret, of course. Actually, I did sell it all there. No, I didn't. I was thinking about selling it all. I kept a little bit back. I'm going to go over some of my trades very soon. So let's continue on further. So 600 was the buy, going below. And there was one day in which, or a little over 24 hours, in which buying under 600 was possible and very easily done. Not so much now because the price is over 700. So let's just scan out some more, because when I look at this very quickly, to me, 1,000 seems like a spot where it should go to. It's the level of support here. It's the level of support here. It's a big area of congestion in here. So let's just look at the market pretty much from the lows now, of course, that 1,000 that is. So there's a move in there. We can see currently it's going very nicely from the 500 level. We do have this first part, though, at 800. So that's the first big. That was an area where it just congested there for a significant period of time. It was an area of this support level. So my analysis is still going to be 1,000. I've already went through this. This didn't work out so well. This should work now. So this level of 800, these things are wild markets. I think if anything, my analysis is it would be probably short term at this point. I'm looking to sell more aggressively, or really for that matter, start selling at 1,000. So we see this in here. What I want to focus on is from here on. I want to focus on this down thrust, and this one. So 3 down moves, because they all told a story The story always was from, when I say day one, March, that we were going to go below 600. Nothing from that point eradicated or changed the story. So we have this first down move that occurred May the 7th, 1 week ago. This is where I got very, very alert and was looking at XBY, not an hourly basis, but it was got to the point where I look at XBY once a day, and that was it before this moment. Just waiting and waiting to see if it was going to get anywhere closer, show any signs. But the market has a decent sell. People getting unloading. And then it rallies right back to where it comes from. Now, that's normal in the sense that when you think about the big sales, you go from 800 down to, say, 680. So when the sale occurs, originally the ask might have been 8 and the bid was 790. So now they sell it all the way down to the highest bid might have been, say, 680. Now you got bid 680, you got ask 800. So that large gap in the bid ask ratio, when a move like that happens, will always have to fill in, and it's very common for it to go up like this. If someone is ever serious about a big sale, what they have to do to ensure this up move doesn't happen is they have to put a major, and either one or many amounts of sell orders. So if I was in here, the price is 800, it goes down, I sell it down, say, to 680, what I'm going to do is now put large sell orders in at 700, 710, 720. And that's telling you that I'm serious about the sale, and the market's probably going to have some decent moves down lower from there after. And I've seen that happen a few times. It's a very interesting statement when I see it, but more times than not, it's like this happens when someone does a deep sale. This is important for knowing this. In a lot of different markets, this happens over and over again. And it can be very profitable, especially if you have buy orders in and you can get instant profits. So then it came up to where it came from, but notice it started trading normal. It wasn't doing this grinding anymore. It comes back to where it comes from, and then it settles in here thereafter. Very normal. Then we are going to take a look at the second one. This was a much bigger one because they sold this down from 700 to, basically 400 and change. To really the key level, because I need to see it go below 6 to be able to buy. See, that's not, the parlay didn't happen there. It went below 6. If you had buy orders, you got them in. But if you didn't, I didn't have any funds on Cryptopia available to buy at that point. But I did thereafter, because the market comes back up, and now this statement is made that it's probably got a good chance of going down there. Sure enough, it did. But this one in here, from the when it comes down to 500, then now you have this entire time to buy, and sure enough, that's what I was doing. You can see originally you were able to buy at the low 500s, 520, 530 very easily. But that changed from this bottom in here, and then it just congested going sideways for 540, 560, and then the push higher that is held. Market breaks the 560 number, goes to a little south of 600, has this one small correctionary price move, some profit taking along the way, people buying down there, getting the profits. That's normal with, again, every single market. Then it has another up move and then some selling, and it goes sideways. But now we can see that we've had some buyers come into this market, bring it up north of 750. And now a little bit of selling below, holding in, but the market has had a decent size move. So do I believe this rally? Maybe. Maybe. Again, I think it's got the legs at least to go further. So short term, I kind of do. Or at least if it doesn't do it now and has these rallies, and it's just tops now and it goes much lower, which it could do, I think it eventually will still come up there as it is. But I'm not buying again until my highest buy order is in the 500 and change mark right now. So therefore, yes, I expect it to go higher, go to this 1,000. I don't know if there's going to be resistance here or not, or how long we're going to congest in these lower areas before we have moves that was similar to any of the big moves you've seen within all of crypto space. Of course, including, of course, this big one here. Because that can happen at any time. But that's not my job to figure out when. It's my job to know when it's happening and to act upon the situations as it's happening. And having the understanding that this type of movement is normal in crypto space. It's going to keep happening over and over again. Now what I want to do is I want to go over some of my trades. I sold pretty much all the way up here. I showed you before how much of my inventory I totally got rid of. I got rid of a lot. And then I started day trading on smaller size amounts, and that's where I'm going to be starting off with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this. This is Cryptopia. I got the price on the right-hand side, what I did between buying and selling, and the date, January 14th at 31.80. So let's take a look at that point right now. January. So the market had obviously had its top. You can't know it at this time that that's going to be the top. So therefore, I've decided I think it's just time to sell more. Is basically what I was thinking, and then and I think this is after the Cryptopia stopped the exchange on Litecoin, and I was forced to trade it in Bitcoin now. So I'd sell at 31.80, 33, 37, and then I'm selling at 37, then I get at 29. This is me of a way of just getting out of the market. I'll look to buy back, I guess, cheaper, because it's not normal for me to sell 37.78 and then the very next day sell at 29.99. And I remember thinking here, man, this is just the time to be a genius and sell so aggressively. And you wish you would have in hindsight, but so be it. You can't get it all right. And then if I continue on further, I can see, let me just, there we go. So I'm selling at 3,000, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, selling on the way up, 39. These are all automated sell orders that I make, selling a little bit less each time. Sell 4,000, sell 41. Here's the buyback. So I ended up selling, within the trade switchover of going from 41.53 to 33.65, I gained several dozen XBY and many tens of thousands, over 100 of Bitcoin just on the trade. But I can tell you, I was thinking, do I really want to buy back? I thought that the whole time, and I was thinking I probably don't. But I did anyway. Bought 32, bought 31, bought at 3,000. And you can see these dates come in, grinding its way lower, January 18, 19, 21. Buy at 3,000, buy at 28 on the 22nd, buy at 27 on the 22nd again, 2,600, 2,500. But then the market go higher, sell at 2,900, but that's all I could get. Came back down to 2,450 on January 28th, 2,200 buy, 2,000 buy, 1,500 buy, and at this point I was right, man, I wish I would have sold them all back then. What can you do? Okay, we're at a key point. Did I buy aggressively here? No, I really didn't. I mean, all things considered, on a day trading level compared to my selling, yes, but I still didn't get much into the market, and I'm really glad I didn't. Selling at 1,900. Okay, so we had a little bit of a bounce. Now this was key Fibonacci, and I knew it. So that's why my buy order was right in at 1,511. Sell at 25.99. sell at 19. And again, another spot I was thinking, probably a good idea to do a big liquidation, get out. Sell 28, buy back 1800. 3 days later. And I was serious. This was just a tremendous fall, but it worked out to be a good scalp. Selling it back at 21 on February the 6th. Selling at 21 again. Selling at 2000. Back to that key level again. Test number 2 of 1500. So was I a little scared to buy here? Yes. And this is where you lose on the trade. The immediate trade, of course. February 22nd, I buy. March the 7th, I sell at 11.19. Realizing, you know what? Probably a good idea to just get out of this market. It's going to 600. It's going to go below it. Next, week and a half later, I think of it some more. You know what? Let's do so. My plan, let's sell a whole bunch. I sold a lot here at this 1,000 number. I'm going to sell a bunch. I'll transfer a little bit remaining just so I don't go to nothing to Coin Falcon. That's the plan. So I sold a bunch, transferred the rest. Of course, it didn't take long before Coin Falcon got active. The next day, the next morning, I woke up and I found out that I had a whole bunch of sell orders hit on Coin Falcon, as high as 4,800. Basically, what I did is I told myself, let's do the arbitrage. Let's buy back so that the Bitcoin number doesn't change. Everything that I sold on Coin Falcon, I moved over to this site to buy at 11.79, 11.82, and 11.95, as well as 11.96 and 11.97. This is just a big buying it up to 1,200, buying it up to 1,200. So basically, I bought it up for feeling like just a big buyer, I guess. It wasn't that large of a buy overall, but that's what I moved the market to. But it was basically getting an okay percentage of what I got rid of back. It was a good feeling, really. Okay, let's continue on further now. March 26th. This is another arbitrage. Buying at 1,500. But that's because I was able to get another sale. This was either Coin Falcon or because what was going on soon after that, I was selling Litecoin on the same Cryptopia exchange, selling XBY for Litecoin. So I did a whole bunch of Litecoin trades and another free round of getting free tokens as I was buying at 1,700. Then came April the 5th. I thought about selling everything that I had that day again, but I did make a decent sized sale. I sold at 13.55, 13.50, and 13.49 because, again, realization that it's going to go below 600. Fibonacci was 640. Then that original move in which it had where it went down to 400 and came back up and grinding its way, I'm like, oh man, I want to buy aggressively below 6. Here I see it at 635. I thought, you know what, I said I was going to buy a handful of Litecoin worth. Let's just send one Litecoin over and buy. That's what I did. So I bought at 635, 627. And then the day came where I realized I could buy. And now the big buying begun, starting on May the 10th at 11:38 p.m. Buying 511. I don't buy all at once, but I was going aggressive here. 7 minutes later, buy at 514 at 11:47. 1 minute later, buy 518. 1 minute later, at 11:49, buy 517. This is a case of me waiting for people to put out sell orders that I just couldn't refuse. So I would literally buy at 518, wait like about a minute, and then I see someone put up a decent sell order at 517, and I just grabbed it. And like literally in like 3 seconds. And then 1209, buy at 513, 516 and 516 at the same time. Buy again at 521 at 1211, 522, 523, 528 all at the same time. And then there's a big time gap from 1211 to 1252. That's just waiting for Bitcoin transfers to confirm. Once, or might have been Dash, it might have been ZEC, and then I would sell it there. But anyway, 504, take it. 514, take it. And then 109, my next Bitcoin transfer comes in. 533, 534. And then I've ended the day just buying it up to 535. I went to bed. And then I woke up in the morning and I was unhappy to see that the price was not lower. And I waited all day. And I'm going to go back to the chart again because this is where it just stayed at that 536, 11 o'clock in the morning. And let's go back to where we were for... So back in here, I was like, man, this thing just won't go down, is what I was thinking. And I'm like, man, let's just pay the piper. And I'm glad I did. And buy at 536. So 536, 544, 545, all at 1109, 549, 549, 550, and then buy at 562, 563, 564. My last buy occurred at 2:08 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is double case of arbitrage here. This is a case where on Cryptopia I was able to sell at 746, 742, but on CoinFalcon somebody was looking to sell south of 700. So I took everything that I was able to get. Now the reason why I took 805 and 859, I didn't have that much Bitcoin on CoinFalcon, so I bought everything that I had. I made a small transfer there, and then I bought the rest. And it basically made me just a small amount of free XBY. Again, I'm looking to sell or exit out of maybe 10 to 15, 20% of my position at the price target of around 1,000 Satoshi. And then just keep on playing the market from there. Always looking to be buying back. I'm looking to buy back again at around 560. When I went aggressive, I could have been a lot more aggressive, and I'm planning on being such. But the planning is because I'm buying again one more time at the area, if it comes there, if it does. If it goes to 400, I'll be buying in there. If it goes in the 300s, I'll be buying in there. If it goes in the 200s, I'll be buying in there. I've already mathematically calculated how much this is going to cost me. It's easily affordable because I'm still only taking a percentage of the profits that I have endured from playing this XBY trading game. I've already spent a lot of my profits, and I'm looking in my safe and I look at this 10-ounce bar. Oh, my favorite coin, a 1 kilo round, Year of the Dog, was because of trading this. And trading a lot of things in general, but my portfolio doing well is buying low and selling high. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to today's video, and have yourself a magnificent day. Bye-bye.